Hey guys, what is happening? AnimetalViking here, and welcome to the 5th episode of Discography Rewind. And today I will be reviewing the 5th album by Dutch symphonic black metal band Carach Angren. Now, I know this album was released a month ago, so technically it's not exactly a rewind, but since I'm late to the party in reviewing it, it might as well be included until their next album comes out, which will probably be in the next 2 years. Without further ado, let us get into this. Okay, so this album is even more of a change for them than their previous album, which was This Is No Fairy Tale, which you can check out, so it will be linked at the end of this video. While it tones down the loudness and epicness for a more atmospheric and gothic tone, I can't say the sound they went for in terms of the production side of things was the best, as this definitely was not the band's heaviest album. In fact, it was actually a lot softer than Death Came Through on a Phantom Ship. That album definitely sounds a lot heavier than this one. The orchestral elements by Ardek, while still fantastic, they seem to start to take more of a Danny Elfman tone to them. This makes the album feel like less of a symphonic black metal album and more like a like they take on a more Tim Burton movie type of feel. The album actually leans one hell of a lot more towards something that Cradle of Filth would produce nowadays. Sergor doesn't actually use a lot of black metal styled vocals on this record like on their previous albums, strangely enough. Instead, he relies on more of a somewhat twisted moaning version of an operatic vocal style, and he uses a lot more whispering. Obviously it's not like that throughout the entire album, but instead of happening here and there in the songs, it kind of balances out equally with his signature vocals, making it kind of like a 50-50. Another thing about this album is the use of more traditional song structures, with songs like Charles Francis Coughlan and Song for the Dead actually using a somewhat verse-chorus kind of structure. The concept for this album seems to be all over the place and doesn't flow as nicely as their previous ones. Yes, while you will eventually understand the timeline of the story after multiple listens, it's very confusing for the first time at least. While I enjoy a good portion of non-linear stories in movies, anime, and other forms of storytelling, this particular story didn't pull it off so well. As it comes together, yes, it is great, but I believe an audience should be able to guess what is going on at least halfway through these kinds of stories. So, while I get that the band was trying to kind of replicate or improve upon the concept they did with Where the Corpses Sing Forever, it sadly fails to live up to that high standard that they've set for themselves in terms of execution. The stories on their own, on the other hand, are actually damn fantastic. Each one has a perfect atmosphere, and the instrumentation is accompanied by Sergor's vocals definitely delivers on the execution, and even the other techniques he incorporates that I spoke about earlier are a nice touch, though I can't exactly guarantee that black metal purists will enjoy them. Another complaint I do have about this record is that the guitars are totally drowned out and too soft for the most part. Sure, when you can hear them it's great, but I have no idea what the band were going for in making this decision. Namtal's drumming is still on point, though like with the guitars, it's too soft and often sounds really muffled, so it's kind of hard to appreciate all the different elements to his drumming with this record. And while the orchestration isn't exactly loud itself in terms of production, it somehow manages to drown out the guitars and drums a lot of the time. There is a bonus track at the end of the deluxe box set edition, which is the orchestral version of Charles Francis Colden, which really allows one to appreciate Ardek's orchestration better than on the orchestral track at the end of the previous record. I think it's a perfect track to end the record on, as it gives a macabre and sad ending to this gothic tale. So yeah, definitely a nice touch. Apparently Ardek has his own Bandcamp filled with solo projects, and he will be releasing a solo album, his debut solo full-length album, sometime soon. So I will definitely be checking that out. So I don't know about you guys. But overall, is this the band's best album? No, I wouldn't say so. But is it as bad as a lot of people say it was? Absolutely not. If anything, this is an album that will definitely be considered for my top 10 metal albums of 2017 video. I do agree that the concept and production could have been executed a little better, and I do feel that this album is not 100% their signature style, but seems to lean more towards Cradle of Filth's recent gothic material. The band still manages to deliver a great atmosphere, tell brilliant stories, and bring on the chills. So if you're a fan of any kind of gothic music, whether it be Danny Elfman's Tim Burton scores or bands like Camelot, Cradle of Filth, and Paradise Lost, then this is an album for you. And with that, I'd have to give this album a rating of 7.4 out of 10. This is definitely not the band's best album. It's probably one of the weakest, I'd say, but in terms of a good portion of albums that have been coming out this year, I'd definitely say that this is one of the better albums that I have heard. So yeah, I highly recommend you check it out, and that's why I believe it deserves this rating. So yeah, yeah, guys, that concludes this review for today. If there is a band whose discography that you would like for me to review, please be sure to check out my Patreon page for details as to how you can submit your suggestions. There are also a bunch of other cool reward tiers there as well if you're interested. It is not required, but donations are appreciated and definitely help contributes to keeping both channels going, and for delivering better content and more frequent content. Also, guys, if you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already done so, and share this video with your friends. Also, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this album and whether you enjoyed it or not. Guys, you can also follow me on social media. I have a Facebook page, which you can follow me over there. I have a Twitter page as well. You can follow me there. I have a My Anime list, so if you want to send me a friend request over on My Anime list, you are more than welcome to do so. I have a subreddit now which you can subscribe to, and if you want to discuss my videos a little bit more in depth with me or other members of the community, then without the trolling that is common in the YouTube comments, then feel free to do so over there. Also, I have a VidMe now, thanks to YouTube's new bullshit policies and the recent blacklisting and shadow banning and taking down of channels and videos. So if anything were to happen to any of my videos, do not panic, do not fear. They will be over on VidMe for your enjoyment and entertainment. Should anything be taken down here, you can subscribe to my VidMe channel or follow me. Both options are fine. I'm cool with either of them. And yeah, that concludes this episode for today. So take care, guys, and until the next episode, as always, have a kick-ass day.